Good morning, good morning. Happy Wednesday, happy Wellness Wednesday, and happy day before Thanksgiving Wednesday. If you don't know me, my name is Donna. If you've just stumbled upon my page, I am a mother of a beautiful grown child. I am a nana of two fantastic 6-year-olds. I am recently retired from my job of 21 years. I am an entrepreneur and I'm a wellness advocate. Good morning, good morning. Okay, so I'm going to talk about your Thanksgiving plate today. I'm so excited. This is week 8 of Wellness Wednesday, which means I've been at it for about 2 months, and I love talking about wellness topics. Now, most of these are pretty broad-ranged, and I do stay away from politics and negativity. But if you have a topic that you'd like to see me cover at any point in time, please feel free to message me, drop a comment. I love to learn, so I have no problem digging in to see what I can find if it's something I don't know anything about. I do have to be careful. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nutritionist. I do have a degree in psychology, but I'm not an official counselor or anything like that yet. I just believe that wellness is something that can easily be shared with people. And by getting on here and talking about wellness, it might encourage you to share something that you find works for you, wellness related, or perhaps share a topic, like I said, that I can cover later. So let's get started. Let's talk about your Thanksgiving plate today. And stick with me here because I may not be about to say what you think I'm about to say, okay? So I've made the joke before, the eating season is upon us. Tomorrow is a day that is often centered around a lot of food. Thanksgiving is much more than that, of course. It's a time to be grateful for everything you have. And hopefully, you know, my shirt, I think it may look backwards to you, says default setting gratitude. Hopefully Thanksgiving is just one of many days throughout the year that you are thankful and grateful for what you have and who you have around you. Okay, so let's talk about Thanksgiving Day because there's a lot of eating, and for some people there's sometimes 2 or 3 meals. So how to survive the Thanksgiving feast? First of all, eat breakfast. I know a lot of people that don't eat until Thanksgiving dinner because they want to save up all that room for food. But what happens is your body your blood sugar dips, your body goes into I'm not eating mode. And you have more of a tendency when you go long stretches of time without eating of making not as great of food decisions, right? So you are that much more likely to eat more than you really want to or need to at Thanksgiving dinner if you skip breakfast. So have a light, healthy breakfast that involves a lean protein, maybe a healthy fat, piece of toast, high fiber, and some veggies if you like to include veggies in your breakfast, just to get things started for the day. When you're eating, if you're like me, you want to try all the things. And you know what? That's okay because Thanksgiving Day is also a day that should be pretty much guilt-free. So, but that can also lead to a miserable afternoon if you can't move and you're feeling overfull and overbloated and you're not enjoying your family because you're miserably full and want to go to sleep. So, how do you do that? Try to stay heavy on the vegetables, especially if there's fresh ones, or ones that haven't been cooked with a lot of extra stuff. I'm a sucker for green bean casserole and sweet potato casserole. So we'll get to that in a minute, but heavy on the veggies, heavy on the lean proteins like your turkey, your ham, etc. And a little bit less on the other stuff. So because I want to try all the things, my plate usually ends up looking a mess because I'm taking little tiny bits of each thing. And if I do take bigger of something, it's usually the protein because that's just how I roll. And then those things that I love, like the green bean casserole and the sweet potato casserole, and there's usually 18 other things, I try to squeeze 1 to 3 bites of everything on my plate, but they are very, very small portions so that I can enjoy all the things because I want to taste everything. And there's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. So go ahead and try all the things, but don't maybe try them on 4 different plates. Does that make sense? Do one plate where you try to get as much as you can on it. Try those things, eat those things, stop when you're full. And if you still have room and there's something you haven't tried, then go ahead and go back for seconds. No guilt, okay? We're not beating ourselves up on Thanksgiving for what we eat. These are just tips to try to help you get through it better and feel better about it. Okay, so dessert. Dessert is always, always the pitfall of Thanksgiving, right? Because depending on how you're doing Thanksgiving, if there's a lot of people there, you have like cakes and you have pies and there's all the things. And I can never not have pumpkin pie, but sometimes there's some other types of pies that I like to try. So what I end up doing is I take little teeny tiny slivers of each thing so that maybe all of it together equals 1 or 1.5 pieces at the most, so that I can try all the things when I have enough room in my stomach to try. It's a good idea to wait a little bit after dinner, but sometimes in some families, if you wait, you're not getting any. So I take little teeny tiny slivers, little morsels or samples basically of those things. And that gives me an opportunity to try all those things and enjoy all of those things without overdoing, right? You don't have to necessarily, if you want the pumpkin pie and the apple pie and the cherry pie, you don't have to have a full-size piece of each one. You will satisfy your taste craving and that sweet tooth by taking little tiny pieces of each one. That way, if you're worried about hurting somebody's feelings because you didn't try something, you've tried all the things, and you still haven't eaten a whole pie, basically. Because listen, if there's good pumpkin pie sitting around, I often like grab it and make off like I'm running off with it because I am a sucker for pumpkin pie. All right, so that's dessert. Now, alcohol. A lot of times with family gatherings, Thanksgiving gatherings, there's a lot of alcohol, and that's okay. As long as you're drinking responsibly and you're handling yourself responsibly, which usually means not picking fights with family members because you've had too much to drink, not driving home if you've had too much to drink, etc., then there's nothing wrong with having some drinks at your Thanksgiving gathering, okay? But there's a great tip that always applies to when you're drinking alcohol, which is to alternate one drink with 1 glass of water. Why? Dehydration. One of the biggest things that produces a hangover is dehydration. We're going to talk about something else dehydration does in a minute. So it slows you down a little bit on the alcohol, and it also makes sure you stay hydrated. So generally the rule, anytime you go out drinking, the smart rule is 1 drink, beer, wine, whatever it is, and then a glass of water or a bottle of water to just help keep you hydrated. It slows you down. You may find that you drink a little bit less, and you're less likely to overdo. And of course, the more we drink, the more we eat, right? So drinking the water will help keep you hydrated and help just kind of space all of that out for you. All right, now this is a big one, the scale, right? Okay, so you're not supposed to weigh yourself every day. And I will tell you that I do because I know my weight fluctuates like crazy. So the only way I can actually get a good feel for what I weigh is if I weigh daily and I take an average. That's about it. It's just I take an average and that's how that goes. And I weigh myself at the same time every day. So what happens, if you're thinking about what happens when you get on that scale the day after Thanksgiving and you've gained 5 pounds? Stop. Okay, first of all, don't get on the scale for at least 3 days after Thanksgiving. Just don't do it. Don't. Unless you're like me and you're just trying to gauge what your actual weight is, and I probably won't even get on the scale the day after Thanksgiving. Just stay away from the scale. It is Thanksgiving Day, y'all. You are there to enjoy your family, enjoy the food, enjoy the treats, enjoy the fellowship and the gratitude, and the scale should have no part of this equation. None whatsoever. Just take it and chuck it out. But if you do get on that scale in the next day or two after Thanksgiving, and you're like, oh my gosh, I've gained 5 pounds. No, you haven't. What you have gained is water weight that is a result of alcohol dehydrating you. Remember, we talked about the water. Alcohol dehydrating you, which means your body starts holding on to water. Most of our meals that we're going to eat on Thanksgiving Day are going to be unusually high in salt. Now, one of the reasons I do weigh myself every day to take an average and my weight fluctuates so much is because I am salt sensitive. So it doesn't take much salt for me to like blow up like the Michelin Man, right? And of course that means water retention and weight gain. Also, carbs. If you're eating a lot of carbs for Thanksgiving, carbs tend to cause you to retain weight. So salt, carbs, alcohol, these things all cause you to retain weight, and you didn't gain 5 pounds overnight. Now, if you ate, they say the average Thanksgiving meal is 4,500 calories. Okay, we're not going to worry about that. If you keep eating 4,500 calories a day for a week, you're probably going to gain weight. But you didn't gain weight from Thanksgiving Day, okay? So that's where we're going with this. So stay away from the scale. Just don't even get on the scale for at least 2 days after Thanksgiving, because all that salt and all those carbs from those sweet potato casseroles and the green bean casseroles and the mashed potatoes and the rolls and the pies. Yeah, am I making you hungry yet? All of that is going to cause your body to retain water, which is why it's so important to keep drinking water, even if you're drinking alcohol. And you are going to show some weight gain over the next day or two, but it's not legit weight gain. It's just not, and you'll find that if you get back on your normal schedule and your normal track, whatever that means, working out, clean eating, for me, I find that it usually takes 3 to 4 days before things go back to normal. That's just truth. But like I said, I'm salt sensitive, and everybody is different. So the point here is, you're not gaining 5 pounds overnight for real. It's temporary weight, it's water retention. Just stay away from the scale the day after Thanksgiving and give yourself 2 or 3 days to get back into a normal scope. Now, with that said, sometimes Thanksgiving weekend is 3 or 4 days of just crazy eating and drinking and being merry, right? So there was one particular Thanksgiving where we started on Thanksgiving Day, and by Sunday, I was so foul, I couldn't even stand to be around myself. Now, why was that? That was because in 4 days, I did a turkey trot on Thanksgiving Day, and then I didn't work out again for 4 days. I did not work out again until like Sunday night. And during that time, I was doing a lot more drinking than I normally do. I was doing a lot more eating of sweets than I normally do, and just a lot, and eating a lot of Thanksgiving leftovers. So I was perpetuating that Thanksgiving Day feast for about 4 days. And I could tell by my attitude and the way I felt and how sluggish I was. It took a yoga routine, a run, and 24 hours of clean eating, getting back to normal, for all of that to go away. So again, the message here is enjoy your Thanksgiving, but don't do Thanksgiving all the way through Christmas if you really want to survive. And just stay away from the scale. Just stay away from it. Because like I said, if you jump on that scale on Thanksgiving morning, your weight is probably going to be anywhere from 3 to 6 pounds higher. And that's going to be because of the foods you ate the day before, and that your body hasn't finished processing all of that. So just drink your water, enjoy your food. And like I said, go heavy on the vegetables and lean proteins, and do little tiny bite-sized samples of the rest of it. Another important thing while you're eating is to be mindful and slow down, because you are less likely to overdo, and you are more likely to pay attention to your body when it starts to feel full. So that's it. Enjoy your Thanksgiving. No punishment. Don't punish your body. First of all, exercise should never be a punishment. Don't punish your body by working out twice as much the next day. Don't do those things to yourself. No guilt. No regrets. Just enjoy your Thanksgiving. Enjoy your time with your family. And just use a few of these tips to just make it a little easier to get through it and recover. But mostly just have an awesome Thanksgiving. Thank you for joining me for Wellness Wednesday. Again, if you have a wellness topic that you would like me to cover at any point in time, I love to learn, so I don't mind doing that poking around to get some answers. And I hope you found this helpful. If you found this helpful, please, please, please let me know in the comments below. Share it with somebody that you think it might help. And remember that the most important message here is to enjoy your Thanksgiving guilt-free. Stay away from the scale for a couple of days afterwards, and have an amazing, amazing Thanksgiving weekend, whatever that looks like for you. Happy Wellness Wednesday. Thank you so much.